Before social media told people what to watch, who to follow, what was trending, and manipulated society into believing everyone else is living a perfect life, MySpace let individuals decide who they were. Your page had music, your page had colors, and if you had MySpace in the 2000s, your page was kind of a mess, but it was yours, and that was the beauty and purpose of it. MySpace launched in 2003, during a time when the internet was still experimental and social media didn't really exist yet, at least not in the way we think of it now. And actually, MySpace is typically referred to as the first social media platform anyway, but the platform was launched by Chris DeWolf and Tom Anderson. At first, MySpace was simple. You had a profile, you added friends, and you posted updates. The website allowed people to customize their page and develop their own aesthetic. But even in its early days, MySpace was different. It wasn't trying to be clean or professional. It was just a casual, creative, and considered a fun way for people to connect with their friends and family while again providing little updates on their day-to-day lives. MySpace had a public setting on people's pages which were called Your Top 8. Your top 8 were the friends that you chose to highlight on your page, and everyone can see who made the cut. But what's funny is that little list caused so much drama amongst people, and no one wanted to admit it. In November of 2004, MySpace reached 5 million users, and within a few years after, it was bought by News Corp, and the site even had higher traffic than some major search engines. I believe one of the main reasons why MySpace was so successful was not only because it was the first of its kind, but musicians were also heavily active on the website and even connected with some of their listeners. MySpace was a great way for new musicians to get themselves out there, and even more popular artists of the time were promoting and releasing their music through the platform. By 2008, MySpace was pushing out more than 100 gigabytes of data every second, and only a small portion of that was basic HTML. Most of the load came from heavy images and videos, a sign of just how visually dense the platform had become. However, probably around a year or two after this was the time that MySpace unfortunately began to take a toll. Facebook was becoming more popular, and even YouTube, which was a major shift in the social media landscape. Facebook had a new layout that was much more consistent and easier to use compared to MySpace, and there was a huge increase in the amount of ads that were displayed on the website, which many of you know, the more pop-up ads that are on a site, the slower the website becomes. Another factor that played into the downfall was that MySpace stopped being the place people went to connect with friends, and the site tried to become more of an entertainment destination instead. And while that might have worked earlier on, it couldn't keep up with the newer platforms that came out, like Twitter and Instagram, that were designed for a different kind of social experience. So with all that being said, I would say around 2011, this was the definite downfall of the social media site. During this time, Specific Media Group purchased MySpace for a fraction of its former value, recognizing its diminished state. Today, MySpace still exists, but it's nothing like it used to be. To this day, the site focuses primarily on music. Significant amounts of the site's music and user content were even lost due to data migration problems, erasing decades of internet history. So, what made MySpace so special was the fact that it wasn't about algorithms telling you what to see. It wasn't perfection in a feed. It was a way to express yourself freely and just to have fun, which is unfortunate that social media cannot be that way today, and the reality of it is, it will never be that way again. I was just born when, MySpace was big, so I never got to experience this, obviously, but it's just very sad that we as a society judge each other online and do all these horrible things that mess with people's mental health. It's truly sickening to me, and I just wish everybody could spread positivity online and not horrible things to ruin somebody's day or even somebody's life. Things affect people more than you think that they do. But anyway, MySpace mattered for a generation of people because of the fun and creativity that it held for its users.